Imagine a world where you stop caring about things beyond your control, status, wealth, success, and other societal expectations, and, instead, focus on living simply and happily. This is the essence of ancient Taoist wisdom, which teaches us to step back from life's relentless race and embrace simplicity. In Buddhist philosophy, the concept of impermanence, anicca, and non-self, anatta, emphasizes that everything is transient and clinging to external things leads to suffering. True peace arises when we let go of attachments and desires. As burnout, anxiety, and depression become commonplace in modern society, this wisdom is more relevant than ever. In this article, we explore these insights through stories from Taoist sages like Zhuangzi and Confucius, and offer actionable lessons for how caring less can bring profound happiness. Chapter 1: The Hermit's Tale, Finding Joy in Simplicity. In the ancient Taoist text Li Tzu, there is a story about Confucius and his student Sukung traveling to the kingdom of Wei. On their way, they stumbled upon an old hermit, at least 100 years old, collecting leftover grain that had fallen from the farmer's harvest. The hermit, despite his ragged appearance, sang happily as he gathered the scraps. From a Buddhist perspective, this joy can be explained by the concept of contentment, santosha. The hermit embodies the essence of finding joy in the present moment, detached from material possessions or societal pressures, mirroring the Buddhist teaching that happiness lies not in what you have but in how you perceive your circumstances. Sukung could not comprehend how someone in such a poor and lonely situation could feel such joy. He approached the hermit and expressed sympathy for the old man's unfortunate fate. The hermit, however, responded with a smile, asking why Sukung pitied him. In the hermit's eyes, there was nothing sad about his life. Instead, he saw his solitude and poverty as freedom from responsibilities. Without a wife and children to care for, he had nothing to worry about except his own well-being. He lived in peace and had the time to appreciate the simple pleasures life offered. The hermit's happiness was a natural byproduct of his freedom from societal expectations. This story encapsulates a core Taoist idea, that freedom often lies in detachment. Similarly, in Buddhism, non-attachment, upadana, is considered essential to liberation. The hermit's happiness aligns with the Buddhist notion that suffering ends when we release our grip on desires and expectations. The hermit, who lacked wealth, family, or social status, discovered happiness precisely because he was free from these burdens. His joy was not dependent on material success or approval from others but arose from the absence of stress and worry. Taoism encourages us to look beyond conventional ideas of success and to recognize the hidden blessings in what others might see as failure. In our modern world, where ambition and achievement are highly valued, this perspective can be difficult to adopt. Yet, the story of the hermit reminds us that true happiness comes from within and is not tied to external circumstances. Chapter 2: The Trap of Materialism, Zhuangzi's Insight on Wealth and Status. Zhuangzi, one of the most influential Taoist philosophers, observed how people become ensnared by their desire for wealth, fame, and status. During his time, people pursued luxuries such as fine clothing, expensive food, and grand experiences, believing these things would bring lasting happiness. This aligns with the Buddhist notion of dukkha, the inherent dissatisfaction in life caused by craving and attachment. Buddhism teaches that worldly pursuits often lead to temporary pleasure but leave behind emptiness, perpetuating the cycle of suffering. The same tendency persists today, with modern society encouraging us to seek new and exciting experiences, accumulate material possessions, and strive for social recognition. Yet, Zhuangzi pointed out the paradox: the joy from these pursuits is fleeting. As soon as one goal is achieved, we desire more. A new car quickly becomes outdated, a dream home loses its charm, and the satisfaction of a promotion soon fades. Society's relentless push for success leaves people exhausted, always chasing the next big thing but never feeling fulfilled. Zhuangzi argued that this cycle of desire is a trap that prevents people from experiencing genuine happiness. Buddhist philosophy concurs, suggesting that freedom comes not from fulfilling desires but from abandoning them. The Buddha taught that by practicing renunciation, nekkhamma, we liberate ourselves from the endless pursuit of pleasure and find peace in simplicity. The pursuit of material success becomes an endless race, one that wears people out and leaves them disconnected from themselves. This insight is particularly relevant in today's world, where social media amplifies the pressure to live an extraordinary life. People measure their worth by the number of likes, followers, and achievements they accumulate, often sacrificing their well-being in the process. Taoism challenges this notion, suggesting that happiness cannot be found through external accomplishments. Instead, it arises when we stop trying to impress others and start appreciating the simple pleasures of life. Chapter 3, Embracing Uselessness, the Wisdom of the Crooked Tree. In one of Zhuangzi's most famous parables, a carpenter and his apprentice come across a massive oak tree by the village shrine. The apprentice marvels at the tree's size and beauty, but the carpenter dismisses it as worthless. He explains that the tree's wood is too crooked to be used for furniture or tools and would rot quickly if made into boats or doors. That night, the carpenter dreams that the tree speaks to him, explaining that its very uselessness has allowed it to grow old and undisturbed. This echoes the Buddhist principle of non-attachment to utility, recognizing that things and people have intrinsic value beyond their practical use. In Buddhism, the concept of equanimity, upekkha, encourages a neutral stance toward judgment, reminding us that even what seems useless can hold profound meaning. The tree points out that useful trees are exploited, cut down, harvested, and eventually discarded. But because it had no practical value, the crooked oak was left to grow freely and live a long life. In Buddhist thought, this can be compared to the idea of retreating from worldly ambitions to live a life of contemplation, like many monks who find freedom in being nobody rather than striving to be someone. The crooked tree reveals the peace that comes from not being tied to societal expectations. Taoism invites us to reconsider the idea that our worth must be measured by our usefulness. Similarly, Buddhism teaches that self-worth comes not from external validation but from recognizing our inherent Buddha nature, the potential for enlightenment within us all. Chapter 4, The Illusion of Control, Accepting Fate and Letting Go. Another Taoist teaching explores the futility of trying to control everything in life. In the story of Peikung Tzu and Shi Men Tzu, two old friends meet again after many years apart. Peikung Tzu laments his misfortune, noting how his friend has become wealthy and respected while he remains poor and unsuccessful. He complains that despite having similar backgrounds and abilities, their lives have taken vastly different paths. When he confronts Shi Men Tzu about the unfairness of it all, Shi Men Tzu responds by suggesting that his success is the result of virtue and hard work. However, in Buddhism, the concept of karma teaches that not all outcomes are within our control. The fruits of one's actions unfold according to causes and conditions, many of which are beyond personal effort or merit. Feeling humiliated, Peikung Tzu seeks counsel from a village sage, who explains that success and failure are often matters of luck, not personal worth. Buddhist philosophy adds that clinging to outcomes leads to suffering. Letting go of this attachment aligns with the practice of detachment from desire, tanha, allowing us to remain serene in the face of life's ups and downs. Taoism teaches that by aligning ourselves with the natural flow of life, we can find contentment regardless of external circumstances. This resonates with the Buddhist notion of acceptance, surrendering to what is, without resistance, to cultivate inner peace. Chapter 5, Redefining Success, Moving Beyond Societal Standards. Taoism encourages us to question societal definitions of success and to find our own path to happiness. In today's world, success is often equated with wealth, status, and achievement. People are expected to build impressive careers, buy expensive homes, and accumulate material possessions to gain social approval. However, Taoist sages suggest that these pursuits are ultimately unfulfilling. Buddhist teachings on right livelihood, Samma Ajiva, similarly emphasize the importance of living in a way that aligns with one's values and inner peace, rather than chasing societal rewards. The story of the crooked tree and the old hermit illustrates the freedom that comes from rejecting societal pressures. Buddhism teaches that true freedom lies in practicing mindfulness, sati, being aware of the present moment without judgment, rather than being consumed by external ambitions. By choosing not to participate in the endless race for success, we free ourselves from the stress and anxiety that come with it. Taoism invites us to redefine success on our own terms, finding value in simplicity, mindfulness, and contentment. In Buddhist terms, success means achieving inner harmony, not accumulating wealth or fame. The question is not whether we have achieved enough, but whether we are living in a way that feels meaningful to us. Chapter 6, Practical Applications, How to Care Less in Everyday Life. Taoism offers practical wisdom for navigating the complexities of modern life. One way to embrace this philosophy is by practicing non-attachment, letting go of the need to control outcomes. Life is full of uncertainties, and trying to control everything only leads to stress. Buddhist practices like meditation, dhyana, help cultivate the awareness necessary to let go of control and embrace impermanence. Accepting things as they are allows us to experience peace in the present moment. Simplifying our lives is another key principle. By reducing our material desires and commitments, we create space for what truly matters: relationships, personal growth, and well-being. This aligns with the Buddhist path of minimalism, where fewer attachments open the door to greater happiness. Applying these principles to everyday life requires a shift in perspective. Instead of comparing ourselves to others or chasing after external rewards, we can focus on what brings us genuine joy. In Buddhism, this is referred to as joyful effort, virya, engaging in actions that nurture well-being and inner peace, rather than draining our energy in pursuit of endless goals. This might mean spending time in nature, practicing meditation, or engaging in creative activities. Taoism reminds us that happiness is not something to be pursued but something that arises naturally when we stop trying so hard. Buddhist teachings add that by being fully present, we uncover joy in the simplicity of each moment. Conclusion: finding freedom in letting go. In a world obsessed with achievement and success, Taoist wisdom offers a refreshing alternative. It teaches us that happiness is not found in material possessions or social status but in the freedom that comes from letting go. Buddhism reinforces this through the practice of non-attachment, upaya, which liberates us from suffering caused by clinging to impermanent things. By embracing simplicity and non-attachment, we can free ourselves from the pressures of modern life and find peace in the present moment. As the stories of the Hermit, the Crooked Tree, and Peikung Tzu illustrate, true happiness lies not in what we have but in how we experience life. Both Taoism and Buddhism remind us that the path to lasting joy begins by focusing inward, caring less about external achievements and more about cultivating inner peace. This article explores ancient Taoist insights that remain relevant in today's world, showing how less caring can lead to greater happiness. By integrating Buddhist teachings on mindfulness, impermanence, and contentment, we deepen our understanding of how to live freely and meaningfully. Shifting our focus from external achievements to inner peace, we create a more fulfilling life, one that is free from the burdens of societal expectations.